Hello, my name is Daryl, and this is Dan, and welcome to the Wheels Manufacturing Instructional Video Series. Today I'm going to be showing you how to operate our large bearing press. It can take care of 16 bearings and 2 linkages for rear suspension. And if you do hear any background noise, that's because we actually are in the shop. That's where the manufacturing part of our name comes into play. So I'm going to throw this off to Dan here, and he can get you rolling on the large bearing press.
Thanks, Daryl. What we have here is part number press 1. This is the largest dollar item that we have at Wheels Manufacturing. Basically, it's intended for shops. A consumer can have one, they can buy one if they'd like, but really it's ideally designed for shops. What it comes with is all your open bore adapters, basically all your 6800 series, 6900 series, and 6000 series bearings, with a couple others thrown in there that we've found the most common types of bearings that we want to remove and replace. It also comes with a nice T-handle. This is the actual press right here. It's got Teflon guides here, so the action is nice and smooth. This is an Acme threaded rod, so that you're not spinning down forever to get the bearings in place. So this is the main part of the tool right here. What I have here is it's a Mavic wheel that has, basically I've already removed one bearing out of it. When you remove a bearing, typically they're going to be shot. That's why you're removing bearings in the first place, unless you're putting in new bearings that are an upgrade. If you don't think you're going to keep keeping the bearings, the simplest way to get them out is just pound them out. Find yourself a good hammer. Find yourself some sort of punch to punch each bearing out. Obviously doing one at a time. I've already got this bearing out. It's notchy. It's got grit in it. It's been subjected to water. Whatever the reason is, it's shot. We're going to place it with a brand new bearing. So this particular hub, Mavic hubs, they don't have what's called a shouldered axle. This bearing press is specific to bearings or hubs that don't have shouldered axles. We're working on a tool that will have the over axle adapters, but right now they're all open bore adapters. This is what's called basically this is an open bore hub. A shouldered axle, which is common as well, that takes over or open bore adapters. We're working on that right now. So you'll oftentimes see that, oftentimes see this. It's kind of run, it's all over the map. So right now we're going to work on the Cerium wheel. We identified the bearing that we have. This one in particular is a 6901 bearing. What you have on almost all bearing manufacturers out there, what they'll do is they'll emboss the number of the bearing into the seal of the bearing. This one in particular is a 6901. There's 6900, 6803, 6903. There's bearings all over the place. So if you have any questions on what size of bearing you have, if for some odd reason it's not embossed on the seal, simply call us up. We can identify the bearing for you. Or go to our website. We have all that technical information on our site. So you've identified what bearing you have. The next thing you want to do is find the appropriate open bore adapter for that particular bearing. This one is a 6901 bearing. We've laser marked all the open bore adapters for the particular bearing size. So find your 6901 bearing adapter, slide it on to your T-handle. If you haven't already installed this bearing, what you do, if it's already installed, go ahead and slide your T-handle through. Get your other bearing, your new bearing, put that into the bore. Make sure your bore is clean and free of any dirt and grime or anything like that. Ideally, what you want to also do is add just a tiny bit of grease that eases the bearing sliding into the bore. Find your other open bore adapter, so you're using both of them, okay? We provided 2 for each size of bearing. Slide that over your shaft, snugging it down into the bearing bore. Then what you do is we provide you also with a bunch of what we call speed spacers. And the only things these are for is to basically take up the slack so you don't have to do as much work. So we're going to throw one of those on there, find your other half, your other T-handle, thread it on, and make sure that everything is aligned properly. Okay, that's ID. That's key. Is you want to make sure that everything is aligned properly. You don't want to get the bearing in crooked by any means, because once you do that, you're not only going to screw up the bearing board, you might screw up the bearing too. If you're installing ceramic bearings, this is the press to have. What these open bore adapters are designed for, and this is again a 6901 right here, is they press simultaneously on both the inner and outer race of the bearing. Instead of loading up one race relative to the other, these press on both of them simultaneously. And that's very important, especially when you have ceramic bearings. If you load one race relative to the other one, what's going to happen is you're going to pit the bearing race and you've just rendered a bearing useless. So high dollar ceramics must have this tool. It's key. So, okay, you got your T-handles squared down there. Everything is lined up properly. Go ahead and start applying pressure slowly until you feel the bearing drive its way into the bearing bore. You'll eventually feel it snug up, and when you do, stop. Okay, you don't want to crank down on it because then you're going to mess up the bearing as well. So once you feel it's nice and snug down, just back it off. Again, you can hear the machines probably in the background, probably cranking out parts right as we speak. Take off your speed spacer, pull the tool out, make sure you grab both of your open bore adapters, and you just reinstall the bearing into a hub. It's all square, rolling smooth. So we've correctly installed our bearing into our hubs. And once you got that all set, throw the axle back in, tighten everything back down per Mavix or whoever your hub manufacturer to their specifications, reinstall the wheel into your bike, and you should be ready to roll. Again, if you have any questions as to what bearing size you might have, how the tool is used, if there's any questions at all, don't hesitate to give us a call at our place here, or go jump online at wheelsmfg.com, and all the information is provided for you right there. Daryl?
Thanks for all the information there, Dan. I know that was quite a bit to explain, and there's a lot going on with this tool. So yeah, I obviously welcome you as well to check out any online resources, or just please feel free to give us a call. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future series of the Wheels Manufacturing instructional videos.